Hello and welcome to our new YouTube tutorial. In this video we're going to create a 3D swing with HTML and CSS. So as you can see, we have here a couple of swings in a 3D space. They are swinging, and also we have here a little ball that is moving from one swing to another. We will create those effects with CSS Animations and 3D transforms. Okay, that's it about the project. Let's go ahead and start to build it. I have created a new folder on the desktop called 3D Swing, which right now is empty. Let's open it in VS Code and create our working files for HTML and CSS. Then open the index.html file and create a basic HTML document. Let's place here an exclamation mark and then hit Tab or Enter. Let's change the title. I'm going to insert here 3D Swing. And then link the CSS file, open link tag, and specify here the name of the CSS file. Okay, finally I'm going to run the project to the browser using a live server. And also let's place the editor and the browser like so. Alright, so we are ready to build the project. First of all, I'm going to start with the HTML markup. Let's open the div tag, which is going to be the container. And next I'm going to create the swing. Let's open div tag with the classes swing and swing1. So inside the swing we will have a couple of different elements. We will have 4 circles. Let's open div tag with the classes circle and circle1. Then I'm going to duplicate this line of code 3 times and change the class names. And also we will have 2 ropes. Let's open div tag with the classes rope and rope1. Then duplicate this line of code and change the class name. Okay, so overall we will have 6 swings, but right now I think it will be better if we create just one. Once we customize it, then we'll take care of the rest of them. Okay, so that's it about the HTML markup for now. Let's go ahead and start to write CSS. First of all, I'm going to create some reset and default styles. Let's select every element using an asterisk. I'm going to get rid of default margin and padding. Let's set both properties to 0. And also I'm going to set box sizing to border box. Throughout this project we will use rem as a measurement unit. By default 1 rem equals 16 pixels, and I want to convert it into 10 pixels. For that we have to decrease the font size of the HTML element. Let's set it to 62.5%. Alright, next let's take care of the container. I'm going to define its width and height. The width is going to be 100%. As for the height, I'm going to make it 100% of the viewport. Then I'm going to change the background of the container. In this case, I'm going to use a radial gradient function. So if we take a look at the finished project, you will see that the color transition from black to blue starts at the top left corner of the page. So first of all, we need to specify this place. I'm going to use closest side at 5% and 10%. Actually, those percentage values are like the coordinates. After that, let's specify the colors. The first one is going to be black color. Let's use RGB with zeros. As for the second color, it's going to be blue. Let's use RGB 115488. Okay, the last thing that we have to do regarding the background is to increase the color transition, and for that let's add here 1000%. Alright, that's it about the container for now. Let's move on and take care of the swing. First of all, let's define width and height. I'm going to set width to 40 rem, then the height is going to be 20 rem. And also change the background color. I'm going to use here RGBA value 206 21691, and the opacity 0.7. So here we have the swing, and we need to place it in the center of the page. For that I'm going to use CSS flexbox. We need display flex, then justify content center, and align items center. Alright, so now I'm going to rotate the swing and then we'll give it a 3D shape. Actually, I'm going to rotate the swing according to all three directions, I mean X, Z and Y axis. So let's use transform, then rotate X function. The value is going to be 70 degrees. Then we need rotate Z with the value minus 40 degrees. And finally rotate Y 5 degrees. Alright, so the element is rotated, and as I said, I'm going to give this swing a 3D shape. First of all, we need to create a 3D environment, and for that I'm going to use perspective with the value 150 RAM. So I'm going to create a 3D shape using before and after pseudo elements, and we need to share a 3D space with them as well. For that I'm going to use property called transform style with the value preserve 3D. Alright, next let's select a swing with a before pseudo element. First of all, let's define the content, make it empty. Then I'm going to define the width and height. The width is going to be 1 RAM. As for the height, I'm going to make it 100%. Also change the background color. I'm going to use here color B4, BB65, and also set the position to absolute. Okay, so here we have the before pseudo element on the left side of the swing. Let's go ahead and rotate it. Use transform, rotate Y with value 90 degrees. So the element is rotated, but as you can see, it is rotated from the center. So we need to change the origin of the transformation. Let's use transform origin and make it left. Okay, so the left side is ready. Let's go ahead and take care of the front side. I'm going to select swing with after pseudo element. Let's define content, make it empty. Then I'm going to set height to 1 RAM. And the width is going to be 100%. Change the background color. I'm going to use here color E to EC6C. And also change the position, make it absolute. Okay, so here we have the after pseudo element. As you can see, we need to change its position. It should be placed in front of the swing. So let's define bottom property and make it 0. Okay, next I'm going to rotate the element. In this case, we need to rotate it according to the X direction. So let's set rotate X function to 90 degrees. As you can see, like the before pseudo element, we need to change the origin of the transformation here. So it's going to be bottom. Alright, so as you can see, the swing has a 3D shape. Next, I'm going to take care of the circles. I mean those details which are placed in the corners of the swing. Let's select circle and define width and height. I'm going to set both properties to 3 RAM and then change the background color. I'm going to use here C5, C7, 57. Next, I'm going to make the element rounded using border radius with the value 50%. And after that, I'm going to take care of the positions of the circles. Let's set position to absolute. Then I'm going to define the positions separately for each circle. Let's start with the first one. I'm going to define top and left properties. Let's set both positions to 1 RAM. Then I'm going to duplicate this code, change the class name, and also we need here right position instead of left. Next comes the third circle. Let's duplicate again the code, change the class name. In this case we need bottom and right positions. And then let's set the position for the last circle. It's going to be the fourth one. We need here bottom and left. Alright, so all 4 elements are positioned. Next I'm going to create those white elements which are placed on top of the circles. We'll create them using before pseudo element. So let's select circle followed by the before pseudo element. First of all, let's define the content. We need it to be empty. Then I'm going to set width and height, both of them, to 1.8 rem. Then change the background color. I'm going to use here E9 D8 D8. And also set the position to absolute. So here we have the before pseudo elements. Let's go ahead and make them rounded, and also we need to place them in the center of the circles. Let's use border radius, make it 50%. And then in order to place the elements in the center, I'm going to use CSS grid. We need display grid and place items center. Alright, so now in order to create a nicer effect, I'm going to move the white circles a little bit up in a 3D space. So first of all, we need to share a 3D environment with the before pseudo element. For that, I'm going to use transform style with the value preserve 3D. And then in order to move the elements up, I'm going to use transform translate z function with the value 0.3 rem. Alright, so that's it about the circles. Let's move on and take care of the ropes. Select them using a common class name. I'm going to define width and height. Let's set height to 40 rem, and the width is going to be 0.3 rem. And also I'm going to set the background color to white. So here we have the ropes, and we need to take care of the positions. Let's set position to absolute. And then I'm going to define positions for rope 1 and rope 2 separately. Let's start with the rope 1. I'm going to define top and left properties. The top position is going to be 10 rem. As for the left position, I'm going to make it 2.5 rem. Let's duplicate this code. Change the class name, we need rope 2. And also instead of left position, we need here right position. Okay, so the ropes are positioned, and next I'm going to rotate them and also move them a little bit up. So let's use transform with translate z function. The value is going to be 20 rem. Then I'm going to rotate the element according to x and y axis. So the value of the rotate x function is going to be 90 degrees. And then we need to rotate y with the same value. So right now the ropes are rotated from the center, and we need to change the origin of the transformation. In this case we need to set it to top. Alright, so the ropes are ready. I'm in the top parts, and now we need to create the additional parts down below. And I'm going to do that using before and after pseudo elements. So let's select rope with before pseudo element. Define the contents. We need it to be empty. Then I'm going to define width and height. The width is going to be 0.3 rem. As for the height, I'm going to make it 23 rem. Also, I'm going to use here some temporary background color, let's say red, and then set position to absolute. So Here we have the before pseudo elements. We need to change their positions. I mean, we need to move them down, and also we need to rotate them. So let's use transform with translate y function. The value is going to be minus 23 rem. And also we need rotate z function with value 21 degrees. So the elements are rotated from the center, and we have to change the origin of the transformation. In this case, it should be bottom. Alright, so that's it about the before pseudo element. Let's change the background color, make it white. In order to create the second part, let's duplicate this code. We need to change before into after, and also we need to change the value of the rotate z function. In this case, we need here a negative value. Alright, so finally the swing is ready, and now we have to create the animation. Before that, I'm going to change slightly the position of the swing. Let's set position to absolute. And then I'm going to define top position. Let's make it 50%. So throughout the animation, we'll move the swing according to the y-axis, I mean horizontally in a 3D space. So let's create CSS keyframes. I'm going to name it swing anim. So we will have a couple of different steps, and on each step we will change the value of the translate y function. And besides that, we need to specify the current rotation of the element on every step. So let's start with the 0%. I'm going to grab the current rotation from here. Let's add here translate y function. The value on the first step is going to be 100 rem. Next comes 20%. Let's copy transform property, change here the value of the translate y function. In this case, I'm going to insert here 21 rem. Then comes 25%. The value is going to be 27 rem. Then at 35 and 40%, we'll have here the same styles. Let's insert here transform and change the value of the translate y function. It's going to be 0. At 50%, the value is going to be minus 60 rem. Then comes 55%, and I'm going to change the value and make it minus 55 rem. Then at 65 and 70%, the value is going to be minus 84 rem. And finally, at 100%, we need to hide the swing. So I'm going to insert here some higher value, let's say minus 800 rem. Alright, so the keyframes are ready, and now we can run the animation. Let's select swing 1. We need to insert here the name of the animation, swing anim. Then the duration of the animation is going to be 20 seconds. We need to run the animation infinitely. And also let's define animation timing function. I'm going to choose here is in out. So as you can see, the swing is moving and the animation works fine. I want to do here a couple of things. First of all, I want to change the origin of the transformation. Let's set it to top. Also, at the beginning of the animation, we're getting here the scroll bars, and in order to fix that, we need to use overflow hidden. Okay, so the first swing is ready. It is animating. Let's duplicate the first swing in the HTML file. Change the class name. We need here swing 2. Then I'm going to duplicate this code in CSS, change the class name, and also I'm going to add here a delay time, but with a negative value. We need -4 seconds. So it means that the first 4 seconds of the animation will be missed for the second swing. Okay, so everything works perfectly. In the same way, I'm going to create 3 other swings as well. So let's duplicate this code 3 times, change the class names from 3 through 5. Then also duplicate the animation in the CSS file, change the class names, and also we need to change the delay times. We need -8 seconds, and then -12 seconds, and -16 seconds. Alright, so all the swings are moving fine, and now we have to take care of the ball, which makes the project more fun. For the ball, I'm going to create an additional swing. So let's go ahead and duplicate the swing one more time, and then insert here a div tag with the class ball. So here we have a new swing, which is not moving right now because we don't have the animation for it. Now I'm going to customize the ball. So let's define width, make it 7 rem. Then we need the same height. So I'm going to use here a property called aspect ratio with value 1. And then let's change the background. So in this case, I'm going to use a radial gradient function. We need to mix 2 colors. The first one is going to be RGBA 159238, 156, and the opacity 0.9. As for the second color, it's going to be 3011006, and the opacity 0.8. Okay, next I'm going to change the position of the ball, and also we need to make it rounded. So let's set position to relative. Then define left and top properties. The left position is going to be 15 rem. Then the top position is going to be 10 rem. And also, let's use here border radius 50%. Okay, so after that, we need to rotate the ball. We need to rotate it according to both X and Y directions. So the rotate X function is going to be 90 degrees. As for the value of the rotate Y function, I'm going to make it 40 degrees. So again, we need to change the origin of the transformation because right now the ball is rotated from the center. So let's set transform origin to top. Alright, finally, let's add a little shadow effect to the ball. Use box shadow with the values 0, 0, 0.2 rem, and the color 333. Alright, so that's it. The ball is ready, and now we have to take care of the animation. So we will create the animation for the 6th swing, and then eventually we will hide that newly created swing and display just the ball. So let's create CSS keyframes. I'm going to call it swing 6 anim. So we will have only 3 steps. At 0%, we need again the current rotation of the swing. And like the previous keyframes, we will move the elements according to the y-axis. So I'm going to add here translate y function, and the value is going to be 0. Then at 50%, we need to move the element by 30 rem. As for the last step, I mean the 100%, we need again translate y 0. Okay, let's go ahead and run the animation. Select swing 6. We need here the name of the animation, swing 6 anim. The duration is going to be 4 seconds. Then we need here a delay time with, again, negative value -1 second. The animation is going to be infinite, and also we need here is in out. Okay, so as you can see, the swing is moving, and now we need to hide it. I mean, we need to hide everything except the ball. So let's go ahead and hide all the div elements in the swing 6 except the ball. So let's select swing 6, then div. Then we need to use not pseudo class, and we have to specify here the class name ball. In order to hide the elements, I'm going to use opacity 0. Okay, next I'm going to hide the before and after pseudo elements. So let's select swing 6 with before and with after as well. Use again opacity 0. And finally, I'm going to make the background color of the swing transparent. So that's it. We have finished working on this project. Everything works perfectly. So I hope you enjoyed this project and it was interesting. If you like this video, then please thumbs up, comment below, share it, subscribe to our channel, and click the bell to get notified on coming tutorials. See you next time.